I'm so Sixers, I'll be glad when God brings your wickedness to an end. So now, you guys, you have a judge that reportedly apologized to the White House correspondent suspect. You know, the guy that was able to run past several Secret Service agents through a metal detector with a machine, and only one of them managed to shoot the guy, and the guy survived. Yeah, at this point, I'm beginning to think that the Secret Service agents, some of them may be complicit, because of, you know, when I think back to what happened during the Butler, Pennsylvania attempt, the Secret Service came under heavy scrutiny after how they handled that situation with our president. So much so that the head of the Secret Service had to step down at that time. But yeah, now fast forward, this year you have a guy that was able to run past several Secret Service agents that seem to be distracted when a guy with a machine gun comes running past by them through a metal detector. At any rate, the judge is stating that he's concerned about the shooter is reportedly suicidal. He's in a cell that doesn't have any windows, and the judge want to make sure that he gets his rights and that he, you know, is kept alive. Why? So y'all can try to use him again in the future? Yeah, it's just not making any sense, you guys. And I read a comment where somebody said, for a party that should know how the left is always talking about reforming gun laws, they sure do, you know, like them, you know, in these certain events. They like to use them in these certain events. And then I read another comment where somebody said, well, communists actually don't like in your hands, but they like them for themselves. Yeah, so it makes sense with the Democrat Party. But you guys, the midterms are coming up. These people are getting desperate as hell. They do not want President Trump to complete his 4 years. So if you are a believer, we not only need to pray, but we need to start fasting against these demons so that we can really...
Yes, I posted this few hours ago. If you take a look at this, Obama-linked George that is now facing mass calls to be removed from the bench after he apologized to Colin Allen, who tried to take away the president's life. The judge is feeling bad for his well-being. Farouk was appointed by Hostin appointee. Imagine that a federal judge apologized to the main accuser of attempting to send the president today for the being treated by jail officials since his arrest. Farouk handled some of the J6 cases and said about Allen, quote, he is being treated differently than anyone I have ever observed. He's taking the situation comparing to J6. You know, this is actually frightening when you see judges doing this. I don't want to talk much. Take a look at these videos.
Guys, right now, federal judges are out of control. Check out this right here. Cole Allen, the guy that just tried President Trump and his entire cabinet at the White House Correspondents Dinner, and he shot a Secret Service agent in the chest. We now have a federal judge who's apologizing to him. Our country's suffering right now because we have these rogue, radical, liberal judges who have compassion for the criminal, but not the victim. I served as a Navy SEAL, and as a law enforcement officer, I hunt, so I know what evil looks like, and I know that criminals like this should be treated harshly, not apologized to. I have zero compassion for liberal judges who live in their gated communities while they release criminals into our neighborhoods. Compassion belongs to the victims, not the criminals. Our country will no longer be held hostage by these left-wing radicals.
Why that possibly was. Mike?
Yes, Sandra, good afternoon to you. Judge Zia Faraqui apologized to suspect Cole Allen for the treatment he's received so far while he's been behind bars. He's been put on watch by the Department of Corrections, and the judge was asking why. An attorney for the government said that he was put on suicide watch because he told FBI agents the night of the White House Correspondents Dinner attack that he didn't expect to survive, and his language suggested that he really was not expecting to survive his trip to Washington, D.C., and the ultimate incident where he allegedly showed up with President Trump. He's been charged with that crime, but the judge very concerned about his constitutional rights, saying the defendant has requested a Bible, has requested meetings with his legal team, and that has not been allowed. He's been put in restrictive 24-hour lockup with no windows in a padded room without an opportunity to get out for recreation. And so the judge making it clear to the Department of Corrections that he wants answers by tomorrow morning about exactly what the housing determination will be made for the suspect in this case, out of grave concern about his constitutional rights, and that apology issued near the end of the hearing. And so quite a moment just moments ago in federal court. Bottom line, the Department of Corrections said they wanted to make sure that he survived, that this is a high-profile case, and all involved acknowledged it is a high-profile case. But again, the judge concerned about the treatment he's gotten since he was arrested after the White House correspondent.
Federal prosecutor Jonathan Fahey. Jonathan, let's start with a quick fact check on the judge here. It's my recollection, in fact, that several defendants from January 6th did exist inside of solitary confinement. Well, the judge said they got soft treatment compared to this would-be. That's actually not the history.
Yes, a few hours ago, we had a similar situation in front of the White House, and information are still circulating about it. Now taking a look at what this judge is trying to do here, apologizing to this guy because of the conditions they are putting him, stay in a room with no light, no windows, things like that. He feels like that is inhuman, and people are now questioning he should be removed. Yeah. If you don't know, this man was appointed by, I don't know if it's Obama or, when something happens, you see a lot of people digging down to get more information to what is going on. If you look into this situation, you will feel sad. Like, why is this man remorseful toward someone that tried to take away the president and his officials? Something is wrong somewhere, right?
I think we should all be outraged that someone tried to allege the president of the United States and members of his cabinet. This political is going on must be confronted. This divisiveness in this country in terms of politics must be confronted. And what we also must confront is that our country is a country that has more than people, more personal than people. So if we are not going to do something about the proliferation of and about the lack of control in this country, then we must do something to protect.
Take a look at what these people are doing. They are now advocating for G control. This is exactly what Kathleen DeView is doing here. And if you take a look at this, is exactly what Democrats have been advocating for a very long time. Okay, DeView spew this kind of realities every single time, to get people to maybe act differently. These are the same people that are coming out to say, struggle to talk again, talk. When I look at the hypocrisy, sometimes I feel ashamed because you can't be pretending like you are really morally okay. Then at the same time, you always attack the president every single time. It gets crazy, when I see this kind of hypocrisy. I understand what the judge is struggling to do here, but sometimes bringing in comparison to J6, and this is a total different scenario here. I don't want to go into justification about everything, but I'm just saying what he's trying to do, not to be okay.
As I told many of you on Friday afternoon, I thought that would be my last time taking your questions until after my maternity leave. But given the attempted action of the president and, quote, top Trump administration officials as though at the White House Correspondents Association dinner on Saturday evening, I felt it was prudent to be here today to answer your questions and inform the American people about how the administration is responding to yet another attempt on President Trump's life.
Is that the so-called White House press secretary, who's a disgrace, she's a stone-cold liar, had the nerve to stand up there and read talking points being critical of statements all taken out of context. In the new Congress, we're going to have to do something about this Supreme decision by this illegitimate.
I think I'm going to end here. I don't want to make the video long. I want to appreciate people supporting, sharing out the videos. As of the short clips at the end, that is for White House. You can always keep.
And his family.
MAGA extremists have said
freedom of the press.
Someone should get to the bottom of that.
Inaugural Burger King.
Eric Holder on not that many.
Our democracy, but right now they are under threat.
The process of political gerrymandering, I think, is damaging to Congress. Gerrymandering means citizens' voice. The Commonwealth but for our gerrymandering and ensure that in the midterms. And we're counting on you.
It'll be funny. It'll be entertaining.
World than they have right now. Everybody in that room, as was noted by the press secretary, has his cell phone number, and lo and behold, he answers their call. No.
But, you know, the president traditionally, I mean, this is why Trump, a lot of people say this is why he ran for president. Obama just tore him a new asshole from the podium, and now he's going to get a chance.
Security officers, some of them climbing over.
At the correspondents.
America great again, and you've made
the win in yesterday's redistricting.
It's going to lose their congressional representation. How do you think?
Until the First Lady brought them back with her surprise statement last week.
How does this benefit?
I'm an actor.
I'm an actor.
I'm an actor.
Creative content.
Why are you not looking forward to the White House fight?
Well, it's kind of a gimmick.
I have 300.
Nobody in recent years has faced more difference at all. Much of the manifesto.
Today was one of the first court appearances for the White House